Join me right now back on the show is one of the best guys coming up in Australia, Kitt Campbell. What's going on, Kitt?
Not much, man. It's good to be back on. Good to see your face again.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Likewise. Let's talk about the past year, man. The last time we saw you in action was last October. You got this fight coming up this October. Give us some details of like what's been going on the past 12 months.
All right, yeah. So I haven't. Yeah, this will be my first fight in a year, but that doesn't mean I haven't been training. I've been getting ready for a fight since my last fight last year. You know, I've had a couple cancellations and stuff, so they're just minor setbacks, but that's not going to stop me from training. So we've been working hard, like I've been in a fight camp since that fight last year. So I'm going to come in more prepared than ever for this one.
From what I know, it's 3 fights that, were scheduled and then they were canceled for many different reasons. And most of them you cannot control. Actually, all of the reasons you cannot control. But when you are in a training camp and you're peaking, and then they come to you and say, "Hey, you're not fighting." How do you take that emotionally, mentally? How do you get over that situation?
It's pretty shattering, but I always try and look at the big picture. That's just one small fight out of such a big career that I'm expecting to have. So I don't get too cut up about it. It's annoying because you've trained for so long, you've had this vision in your head that this is who I'm going to be fighting, this is where it's going to be. But that's the fight game, man. You never know that anything can happen. Anything can happen. So until you're standing across from the cage from the guy you're meant to be fighting, then that's when you know you're in a fight. But other than that, the guy could pull out at the weigh-ins. You never know. So you got to be ready for anything in this game. And that's the sort of mindset that I try and carry when these sort of things happen, and that's what gets me through it. I mean, it's disheartening because you rely on it financially as well, and I just love fighting. So it's shattering that you don't get a fight, but there's always another time. And look where we are. 3 more weeks and we're on. Hopefully,
definitely. Well, I think it's gonna happen, man. It's probably the one of the biggest shows ever for Eternal. And it's on the biggest weekend probably in Australian MMA history, right?
100%. So that's awesome for Australian MMA. I reckon it'll probably be the biggest regional show to go down for sure. There's some good names on it too, so it's going to be a good night of fights.
Yeah, man, and you get to main event that shit, so it's just like the hype must be crazy.
Man, it's the cherry on the cake. That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, how have you been surviving? Like most guys that are coming up in the regional scene, they're working a job. And I know you have a newborn child too. So how do you take care of everything, without actually fighting?
Well, I've had to pick up some work in between these training camps. If I had my fights locked in, it would have been all right. I've got some great sponsors that help me too. But yeah, when the time comes to it, I'll pick myself up and go and get some money if I've got to, But we've been surviving. We're fine. We're all good. I just want to get this fight done and, make it to the big show and finally be able to make some decent money in this sport,
This fight, against Izzy Dox, it was supposed to be happening a few months back, but it's kind of like a blessing in disguise that it's like it got canceled and now it's put on this weekend where they're basically showcasing you for the UFC. Do you kind of feel that way?
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, hopefully there's going to be some big names in the crowd there, some guys that, I'd like to impress or I would like to fight in front of. So I think that opportunity is going to be there come October 4th. And yeah, like you said, it's like a blessing in disguise. It's a good way of looking at it, It's happened to me before in my career, fights have been cancelled. I'm like, damn. And then I look back now and I'm like, oh, that happened for that reason. That was why that happened. You just got to trust the process.
How has this training camp been, the last couple months? I know you've been working closely with a lot of, high-level guys. Could you give us some details about that?
Yeah, so I'm with my coach Tosca every single day. He's an asshole to train with. So yeah, I'm with him every day. He smashes me around, and then I at least try and get 4 or 5 good grappling sessions in a week, hard grappling sessions, and then the rest is just cardio and strength training. my cardio is going really well at the moment. I've been running heaps. My cardio is probably the best it's ever felt. And that's why it's good being in a camp for so long, because now I just get to fine tune everything, get myself ready for the war that it's been preparing for this whole time. So I'm in a really good spot at the moment, and everything's firing. So, come 3 weeks time, I'm gonna be good.
You usually fight at welterweight. This is for the middleweight title. How much has that affected like your diet and being able to consume more, I guess, during a camp?
Yeah, well, I started my career off at middleweight. My first 5 fights were middleweight, dropped back down to welterweight. I'm not going to lie, it's a hard cut for me to get to welterweight. It's doable, but it's quite hard. So, you see all these guys in the UFC that are dropping down and they're not doing too well. And then the guys that are going up are like, wow, why didn't I discover this earlier? I feel so much better. And I think that's how I'm going to feel stepping into this fight. I think I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to be a happier person all around, which makes me a better fighter. I'll just be a lot more comfortable. So that's the joys of stepping up to middleweight. I don't have to cut as much. Around at home, my diet's still pretty good. I eat healthy, but at least now my portions can go up, and I'm a lot more fueled and more energized for these training sessions. So
when you look at this fight against Izzy Dox, it's probably one of the most exciting fights that's come along in a long time on the regional scene. When you visualize this come Friday night, when you guys step into that cage, what do you see?
Just me winning. I don't try and complicate it in my head. I'm going to win like this. I'm going to win like that. Because when it doesn't happen, when you're in there, you're like, what? I pictured this. You start getting frustrated. I just picture me winning. I'm going to win. That's what I keep telling myself. Doesn't matter by how, what round, whatever. I'm just going to win. I'm just going to get the job done. I'm getting my body ready to win, and that's all I need to do.
Do you think a lot of guys, they get kind of caught up in the hype of finishing the fight too much? Because at the end of the day, it's all about wins and losses, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think my best performances have been when I haven't gone in there thinking I'm going to do this to this guy, I'm going to do this to that guy. My coaches haven't been in my ear. You got to do this, you got to do that. Just train, man. Get your body ready. Go in there, do your thing, and let it be. That's what I've learned, and that's when I perform my best. So that's what I'll be doing this fight, John.
Other than your cardio, what have you elevated most, with your skill set throughout this last year?
Just speed in my hands, speed in my kicks, just all round striking, and my wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is really on fire at the moment. I've been paying more attention, like it's mixed martial arts, you got to train in everywhere, but I'm really enjoying my striking at the moment. But that doesn't mean I haven't left out any of the grappling or anything. Like my grappling's still on fire at the moment. I'm feeling really, really good. So I'm feeling really good in all areas, but my main focus is striking. I just love striking, and that's what Izzy loves to do too. He loves throwing those big bombs, knocking people out. So you can expect to see an exciting fight. Like you look at it on paper and it's an exciting fight,
The next day, the biggest fight is going to happen, UFC 243. And when you look at it, it's just like you guys are pretty much the setup for that fight. It's just like it's leading into it, and everybody's going to have their eyes on this fight before that even happens. Man, it's just so incredible to like be able to follow your career, man, for the last couple of years and to talk with you, and then you get this big opportunity. It's always good talking with you, Kitt, and good luck on the fight and your future, man.
Thanks, my man. It's good to hear from you again, and I'm sure we'll do it again soon. It's always my pleasure.